Joining us right now to talk about where he is putting his money to work is Mark Mobius. He's veteran investor and founding partner of Mobius Capital Partners. And Mark, first of all, welcome. It's been a while since we've seen you. Do you have any money in the United States, or are you still looking all internationally right now?
No, I'm all international and emerging markets in particular. In fact, I'm speaking to you today from Korea, and we have quite a lot of investments here in Korea. And a few weeks ago, I was in Taiwan. So Taiwan and Korea are really at the top of our list, in addition to India. Those are the three places where we're focusing.
Yeah, Taiwan, Korea, India. I've heard you even recently make some comments that China might be a good place to kind of dip your toe back in as well, which struck me because the last time we talked to you, the last time I remember talking to you was in March. And at that point, you were concerned about even being able to get your money out of China.
Exactly. Well, that's been solved, thankfully. But now we're looking at China in very specific ways, and particularly looking at Hong Kong listed companies, because those are the companies that are, in terms of valuation, look very attractive. But China is still, as you know, going through a tremendous adjustment, and it's going to be very difficult for many companies. And in fact, one of the things I'm learning here in Korea and in Taiwan is that these companies are also being challenged because a lot of their exports go to China. And of course, they want China to thrive, but at the same time, they have to diversify their markets so that they're not so dependent upon China.
So that sounds like a lot of reasons to really be cautious. You want to go into these markets, but you're looking for what in particular? Companies that don't export to China, or companies that have gotten really good at finding alternative markets?
The latter. In other words, we want to have companies that, of course, they do business with China. Very difficult for the Taiwan and Korean companies to get away from China. But we want companies that are being diversified internationally. And we're finding a number of these companies with incredible technology, so they're able to diversify their investor base. So I think it's looking quite good, but we're going through an adjustment period, that's for sure.
Warren Buffett recently went into Taiwan Semiconductor. He, I think, thought the same thing, just that the technology there looked great. It looked like a bit of a key loggerhead if you're looking at chips there. But he got out pretty quickly because he said he reassessed the concerns about what would happen if China invaded, I think, if there was a China situation in Taiwan. That doesn't bother you?
No, I don't see that happening anytime soon. It just doesn't make sense from the Chinese point of view to attack Taiwan at this stage, because they'll get, of course, a lot of resistance. As you know, the Americans have built up bases in the Philippines, and they've given more aid to Taiwan. So it would be a very, very difficult situation. Of course, if China attacks Taiwan, of course, the U.S. market will disappear, and they depend on the U.S. market. So I just don't see that happening anytime soon.
So why Korea? What do you see there?
Korea technology, incredible technology here. It's really amazing to see the developments. You know, I lived here in the 1960s when this place was in ruins. And now you have a very advanced society with incredible technology in many, many areas. For example, we have one company that does cosmetic kind of work with machines that do treatment to your skin so you lose your wrinkles. So that's the kind of thing they're doing. And it's quite interesting.
Did you try the machines out?
Not yet.
All right, Mark, let's talk about India. You've focused on India, and that's been something for several months now you've been pretty positive on. What happened in India? Is that a similar story with technology, or is there something else happening there? Is that the beneficiary of companies that are looking to set up places to diversify from the Chinese supply chain?
Exactly. That's the thing that's happening. You're seeing companies move to India away from China in order to diversify their investor base and the supply base. So you're seeing companies like Apple moving to India to assemble iPhones and that sort of thing. But at the same time, and more importantly, you have a population of 1.4 billion, which is more than China, and you have a growth rate which is 7%, which is one of the highest in the world. So, and a young population. So all these factors are having an incredible impact. And now a lot of companies are waking up to the fact that India can become a very big supply base to diversify their supply chain.
10, 15 years ago, I remember talking to CEOs, and the problem they would cite when it came to India versus China is that in India, things are very different, state to state. It was hard to get things done versus in China, if you got the approval from the government, you could move quickly, and it would be across the country. You could do anything you wanted. What has that changed? Has the Indian sort of secular state by state problem, where it's difficult to do things across those different lines, has that changed at all?
You still have these problems because each state has its own rules, and of course then you have the national bureaucracy as well. But Modi has really cut away a lot of this bureaucracy for the express purpose of getting investors to come in and invest. More importantly, you have competition between the various states in India to attract foreign investment into their state. So it's a very interesting development, one state against the other, so which is great for foreign investors because they can sort of play one against the other. But you're getting a lot of these states waking up to the fact that they can really do a lot of good for their people to provide employment and growth. So it's a very interesting development. Look, you're dealing with a complex society, a democracy. It's a messy situation, just as it is in the U.S. But the bottom line is that the growth is incredible.